plays games with Steve
and Angel. All right, final Save Game.
We'll see how you play.
Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we had performed earlier.
Tests?
Yes, tests. On the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh, yeah, that. I totally forgot about it.
That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim.
So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood, or...
Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it?
I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims.
I understand, Your Honor.
From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly.
Unlike me, look at these. Look at my guts.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Agreed.
Very well. Please bring in the last witness.
Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices.
Maya.
According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korine channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Fey clan. I don't want any more to do with it.
I don't blame you. It's it's fucking crazy shit. Yeah.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Fey, when the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple, and you witnessed the moment of Ms. Elise Donim's murder. Is this correct?
I didn't see any...
Objection! Straighten up this moment, young lady.
Huh?
Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
But I...
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please.
Yes, Your Honor. I was passing through the garden on the way to the spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
So you were struck on the head. I suppose it must have been this staff.
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Ha! Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all.
Yeah, I kind of been through it, right?
Yeah, I've been kind of... Can I go home?
Neil?
I've been turned into a Dahlia.
Can I go home? Yes,
You're excused.
No, she's not excused.
Sick reference, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
I said that funny, but I'm being sincere.
No.
No, I'm telling the audience, and I'm like, oh, that reference ruled.
What the fuck, Steve? I was passing through the garden on the way to the spare prep room when it happened. I assume it's safe for me to press everything.
Hold it.
You do whatever you want.
Who else was on the inner temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember saying that Iris could be coming later as well.
The day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later, like she said?
Well, let me think.
She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. And suddenly someone struck me over the head.
Hold it! Who did it? Who hit you?
Don't slam the desk
Tell
at
me. I'm gonna hit them.
Oh well. I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do?
I'm Showy. I'm gonna push you harder. I'm Showy.
Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, oh, yeah, that's right. It was dark. That's it.
It was dark.
It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training.
Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime.
Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely
The spirit that was channeled by Elise Donim, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern.
Hold it! What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my escape. I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my head at the time.
Well, now, this is beginning to get interesting. Everything before was very boring and mundane.
So, what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. Those are the only two things in my brain at all times. So, what did you do then?
I think I screamed, "Help me!"
Hold it!
Help me!
You think you screamed? Oh, I thought he was going to say it. You think you screamed, but you're not sure?
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits.
Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes.
Oh, great. There we go again.
And I've already done that once today. When it's all big...
Bailiff?
Oh, okay,
I made a big stinky.
Oh, boy.
Who's a big boy?
All right, let's clear the courtroom.
I thought this person might attack me, so I, were you just talking about shitting yourself? Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed.
Not the most disgusting thing that's been talked about in this court.
True. I thought that it was my last hope.
Those circus fuckers.
I wasn't referring to that, but...
What are you talking about? Oh, just calm and everything.
Yeah. Yes.
Got it.
Just,
Yeah, sure.
oh, put it in my coffee. Yeah.
I'll completely
Steve's
black that
favorite
out now.
bits. All right.
Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details?
What did she scream? My last hope.
You're my one last hope, so you'll have to do... Wait a minute, Maya. What's this? My last hope stuff.
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No. That's what you said. You said my last hope.
Huh? What? I said that?
Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see, and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me."
Yeah.
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, you know, that's like, what do you call it when that happens?
Maya's not doing so well up there.
Oh, yeah, Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
What did you say?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming for help. Ah!
What is it now?
I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Huh?
Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person?
I am. Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done?
Ha! It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say.
A ton of pressure.
You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber.
Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Oh. I think I screamed, "Help me." Boop.
Hold it! A man? Who was this man?
Well, you see, I couldn't see.
You couldn't see? She used this excuse twice now.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright.
Lantern light, did you say?
There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. Diddle-diddle-diddle-dip. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey, you know what they say. Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. Then something warm splashed over me.
Hold it! You don't mean... Was it...
I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was probably blood.
She's saying that's when Miss Donim, who's channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer?
At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me. That's when I lost consciousness.
Hold it! So what happened next?
I don't remember.
How are you saved? You don't even remember that?
No, I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all.
That's too bad.
I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. When she hides something, I could tell by how she acts. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something.
I was passing in the garden. Did I press everything already? Suddenly it was struck over the head. I stumbled against the lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me." So there was more bits here.
You have everything you need.
I have everything I need.
Yep.
I could see him behind my attacker by the light of the lantern. A means.
What you thinking?
Let them.
No, I just want to. I want to hear their thoughts.
Oh man, how many men were there? Were there any? Kamshi wasn't there. Goto wasn't there yet. I mean,
Is Laria, man.
I mean, yeah. Unfortunately.
I'd say very much so, man.
Yeah.
No, I just thought he was, he's
Like a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Boy.
Saw an unbelievable sight at Heavenly Hall. Him? Was it Larry? It can't be Larry. It can't be Larry. That's fucked up if it would be Larry.
Why can't it be Larry?
Because I don't want it to be Larry.
I think you're interfering too much, Steve. Let them cook.
I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. I mean, that was the new statement, but I was tricked before. I think Ice Cream told me I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. I mean, the only other man that was there was Larry, but I don't think he could have been on that side because he was on the other side of the bridge and he was drawing. So I don't know if that's like a contradiction. Like, no, it couldn't have been another man because it wasn't me and it wasn't Larry, and I can't present myself. I kind of want to present Larry.
Objection!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Your Honor, the statement contradicts this.
Blah, 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 blah.
Cool.
All right.
Overruled. You can't make these accusations near the end game.
Whoops. I didn't go so way.
It is the statement.
Okay.
You're, I'll just say, I'll go back. No, go back. This one's a simple contradiction. Look at your evidence.
I could see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone lantern. Oh, wait a minute. Did the stand... What does it say? It was not lit at the... I'm gonna...
Yeah?
Cool.
Objection!
Yeah, it helps to read.
What's that?
So there was a man standing behind your attacker?
Yeah.
That man. He's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donim, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother.
The killer?
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
Well, what is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Uh-huh. What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
God damn it. Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No! No.
Order in the court. Mr. Godo, explain this.
Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That is the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait.
Oh, I was gonna say milky.
Cafe au lait. Is that even legal?
Mr. Trite's words are the milk, and you are the spoon, Your Honor.
I'm a spoon. I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know.
It's a Final Fantasy VI reference.
Spoony bar.
Or Final Fantasy IV? I think 4, actually.
You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that.
Objection! Sorry, but that's not going to cut it.
What did you say?
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Nick?
May I?
Maya, actually.
No. No, I'm not messing up this time. Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of the attacker in front of her.
No!
Order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection! Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene.
Objection! There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godo. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him.
Cover for the man that killed her mother.
There's only one conclusion I could draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
Ha! You talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please stop.
Maya is dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth.
All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Ms. Fay saw in the darkness?
Think very hard. And do not present.
Until I'm sure.
Well, confirm with us.
Who killed her mom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. And there's someone that they're here. There's someone here. I mean, the choices are so limited. But who killed?
Well, I was saying it's funny that you said that because it's like, oh yeah, that is kind of true. Yeah, but
Killed your mom. Okay.
Yeah.
My thoughts are the killer was a man,
Sure.
but they were not necessarily someone here. They were someone being channeled. Is that too crazy?
Well, I'll say this much. What were the conditions of this crime scene?
They had to be in the inner, by the inner place. Hold on.
That's true. That they have to be on that side.
Yeah.
But also, remember there was this whole, what was the contradiction we just pointed up before this?
That there's only some things that you can see in the dark.
Correct. Because basically the confusion right now, because Maya, the person directly attacking her, she was like, I don't know I can't see who it is. But the person that was behind this person, there was no stone lantern lit.
Okay. I think I know who. You could see him in the dark.
Go for your heart. Whatever you think. I'll let you get...
take that! Because it was pitch black, Miss Fay was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
What? But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
What? This is what it can't be.
Huh. So cool.
Oh my god.
That's such a good... That was a nice bit of deduction. Tried.
And that also happened for a moment.
Yeah,
at the
remember in
recipe
the
for
previous
Turnabout.
case?
Furio Tigre yelled so loud it shorted out all the lights.
You see the light.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh.
That's the same case where we see the... Well, I won't say anything else. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Order, order, order! Prosecutor Godo, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Ha! Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya!
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man, for a totally different reason.
Well, what?
Witness, Mr. Wright, what the...
Objection! Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
Chattering?
If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until I woke up. After I woke up, but... Bum-dum.
The killer.
Oh, the killer? When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. Okay.
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Men, the ones that are always known when asked to take out the garbage the first time they do it.
No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godo said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the criminal was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
When I came to, I was just lying there on the training floor.
Hold it! So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden. Is that right?
Yes, I think. I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple?
It could only have been the killer.
That's what I think too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple.
By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed.
Hold it! Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again.
Oh, I have to come back to this? The torches were lit and the body was gone.
Hold it! The torches were lit?
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Very well. Let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too.
Hold it! So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did really look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
Oh. There were a lot of shovels around the inner temple. but they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use.
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take Snow away?
Well, there's one thing I could think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. You could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
You can go back to that statement now.
Oh,
The one you were like, oh, we gotta go back to the past, Samurai Jack? Yeah.
well, wait, which one?
If you want to know, it was...
That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold it! Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes, I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden...
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. Ooh, proceed.
Hold it! They did it for your sake?
Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Karine killed my own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you?
The torches were lit. They were litty. Since we did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. All that snow around the stone had been cleaned up carefully too. I haven't pressed this one yet.
Hold it! So, you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on.
By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up with the evidence of what had happened. Well, the torches were lit and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. I think it was from my sake the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. Okay. I think this might be the contradiction only because it... now it makes sense why I freaked out. Okay. I think it's this. Yeah, I think that's this. I'm going to present this.
Objection!
Yes.
The body of Elise Donim was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then, at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that still seems somewhat odd.
Oh? And what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godo. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't he wipe the writing off the lantern?
Ah! You're right!
I mean, it could have been spelling I am, my evil.
Order! But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. The bloody snow. And not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
Objection! But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern?
The killer didn't notice it.
Prosecutor Godo, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime occurred there. If that's the case, then they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches are all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There's no way any normal person would.
What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether.
And who would that be? Who is the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing?
Take that! Mr. Godo, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
You can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godo?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern, there's something written on it. What? Why? It's written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle.
That's Cool Goofy and Prospector Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Mr. Godo, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations.
Yeah.
This is the apron the delightful Ms. Bird was wearing at the time, and somehow spilled coffee on.
There's red stuff on it. Look at it. There's blood.
Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
There's red stuff. It's all over.
What
That's ridiculous!
is going on?
No one told me anything about a bloodstain!
There's red stuff all over it.
Dude.
Is the judge turning into like an infant or something? You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
Ha! It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godo, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you couldn't see the red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps. Didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea.
What? Red tea.
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I think I understand why he doesn't drink red tea.
Oh, finally, the mystery is uncovered.
I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godo is the murderer. But there's no going back now. More ways than one. I finally figured out the truth.
Also, that guy's been kind of a dick to me.
Mr. Godo, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Donim, also known as Miss Misty Faye.
It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Ha! Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in red ink, Gramps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer?
Huh?
Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
Objection! I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, try it.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How so?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If they wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't they take just that area? Could it be?
Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so, he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Objection! Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. They would have been able to see fine.
It seems that once again this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godo?
Hold it.
Wait. Just wait a minute.
Maya!
Well, what is it, witness?
Mr. Godo isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Inner Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after the old bridge got fixed up.
Objection! Maya. You can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I mean, I'll look it, but I...
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, yeah, I guess that happened, yeah.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please, listen to me.
Maya. Do you plan to cover for Godo no matter what the cost? If that's the case, I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Ha! Nicely done, Trite.
Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But that little girl was there at the Inner Temple, too.
Vibe check. Keep it going?
I think we can do one new episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. I know this is getting good,
Yeah.
but
But this is a good place to have a cliffhanger.
yeah.
Ooh.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.